Quite a few of you have reached out to me since I just shared some updates on my tiny home. And in that, many people were commenting about manifesting and wanting me to talk about manifesting. And we talk about it here on this channel quite a bit in many of the YouTubes. But my version of manifesting is very different than what you may experience out on the interwebs if you're looking at other people's sharings. And I will just simply say what I always say, which is that I can only share from my experiential journey. I'm not a teacher. I'm not a guru. I'm somebody out here doing life, or life is doing me, and I just share the journey. And if it lands for you, fantastic. And if it doesn't, let it pass by. I love the concept of manifesting. I think it's beautiful. It says that we have some power or control. And I know that's something that us who are being humans desire, control. It's why the question of free will comes up so much, because it really challenges people to look at all of the control-based beliefs and programs that have been running for so long in their experience. And I know that myself. I was a highly controlling personality type. You may find that this is a very prevalent thing in children who grow up in homes of chaos. And what happens is, at a very young age, some belief sets in to the story of that one, which is part of their soul plan, of course. And it says, everything here in this chaos is out of my control. Now I really want to control it. And that seems to set a roller coaster of loops around thinking or idealizing the idea of having some sense of control. The reality is, manifesting is nothing more than this. Get ready. Here's the big secret. Getting out of the way of the mind. It's that simple and yet that hard. This is all predetermined. This is all unfolding for us. Everything that could ever be created already is. And you are a part of that. The idea or concept of having to manifest it will keep it as far away from you as possible. When you nestle into the idea that you have zero control and relax and have fun with this moment, everything that could ever be wanted by you will be presented to you, for it is a part already of you, and you are a part of it. Now that sounds like a lot of spiritual mumbo jumbo, so let me break it down for you. This idea of a relationship that you're having about, or a job, or an increase in income, or a home, or just to feel more alive, is already in this existence. The fact that it is already arising within you as a desire already states that it is also longing for you. The invitation is that magnetic pull, the positive and the energy charge reaching to one another. Now, if the mind gets in the middle of that, an entanglement begins of energy. And that entanglement creates a barrier or a veil between that which is and that which appears to not be. As the mind doesn't engage in that, that thins naturally, simply by virtue of this desire, which is like a burning flame within you. As soon as the mind gets mixed in and muddles that up, the fire seems to go out and the light seems to dim. Yet, you'll notice the desire never collapses. Why? Because it's already done. It's already done, and it's just there, intuitively reminding you to just settle down. When my son was little, I used to explain it to him this way. Your words are your wands. When we go to a restaurant and you order a burger and a milkshake, 9 times out of 10, they bring you the burger before the milkshake comes out. And that was a really challenging thing for my young man to wait for because he loves his ice cream, even now as an adult. So the burger would come and I would notice him looking over his shoulder repeatedly for that waiter and that milkshake. And I would say, hey, bud, what's up? You've got water, you've got your burger, the shake will arrive. And he'd say, yeah, but I wanted to drink the shake with my burger. And that's a very fair desire, right? And I said, honey, repeatedly, if it was meant to be on the table, it would be here, but your desiring it is keeping it away. So just enjoy the burger. And I promise, the order has been received. It's in the works. Stop thinking about it and let it go. And every time he would smile, chomp down into that burger, probably take a sip or two of his water, which hurt no one. And lo and behold, there arrived that milkshake. This is no different, you guys. We overcomplicate everything with the mind until we, the witness, start to notice it's doing itself. All of this. Creation, which you are a part of, only wants what you are wanting. That desire was a combination of efforts before ever seeming to enter this body. Why would we ever desire something if it was untangible? There is nothing about this experience that's meant to harm us. It's all happening for us, not to us. If you can breathe and not resist, love up on that desire without craving it or attaching to it, and then just wait. In my recent sharing of my tiny home, I didn't mention how that all came about. You see, 4.5 years ago, when I started this process of tiny home living, I had for 15 years been holding a desire or holding space for the desire of tiny home living. But that was never the right time, being a single mother and providing a home that was in a suburban environment, etc., etc. Something new that was bigger than I did, that when it was the right time and the right way, it would all come together. That's certainly been the case for me with the first tiny home, which was the converted RV into a farmhouse. When COVID hit and all my corporate work went away, that just showed up for me and allowed me to get out of the suburban house. Zero effort on the part of the funding for it, where I would park it, how I would get it set up in time for winter. It all just flowed. And it was no different with the experience of this custom build tiny home that I now live in. Literally a couple of weeks before Milo passed, I decided it was time to get back into the discussions of the build for the tiny home. So I once again reached out to the company that I had started this journey with 4.5 years ago. And I said, hey guys, I'm ready. When can I come in? When can we talk about it? And by this point, after many years of going back and forth, we built a rapport. And the owner, Kurt, said to me, Kelly, you're not going to believe this, but we just custom built something that's almost identical to the specs that you had worked up with us when you began your process, with a few nuances. And the person that we built it for had to back out last minute, and we were supposed to deliver it this week. So it's here on site if you want to come check it out. Oh, and by the way, I have several other people interested in the same model. So I've already talked to them. The sooner you can get here, the better. And that was not a sales ploy. These guys are amazing, and they just don't have inventory sitting on their lot. It's all custom. So no coincidence, where it was less than 30 minutes from my house. I hopped in the car and I went straight there and immediately fell in love with it. It was everything that I wanted and more. Things that I would never have thought to ask for, the person who had ordered this asked for. Wider stairs with more storage underneath, and one unit for the washer and dryer. The sunken bathtub that I wanted, that they had selected, was more beautiful than anything I could have chosen for myself. And she wanted an incinerator toilet, and I hadn't even researched that. All of the lights in the house have dimmers and LED switches on them. I wouldn't have known to even think to ask for that. And there's just many, many other little nuances that make it my perfect home, but I didn't have any of those in my original design because the universe knew better than I did what I needed and what I deserved. Now, I handed him a check on the spot for the deposit, and I said, that is mine, and you don't let anybody else come over here and try and steal it from underneath me. And he started laughing, and he said, no, it's yours. And it was done. And I went there with no idea before this that was all the case. This was delivered to me within a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks. It's all kind of running together now because it overlaps with Milo's passing. But all of this came right to me. All I did was make one phone call just to inquire about starting the process again. I had no intentions of doing anything yet, and I knew that it would take about 6 months to a year to do the build. So I was already preparing in my mind mentally that I was going to have one more winter in that RV. And something grander than me knew that was not going to happen. And I now understand why. Within a few days of all of this, my sweet Milo passed. And I can't even fathom staying another winter in that RV without him. That would have broken me in half, literally. It was already hard enough to lose him, knowing that he wasn't going to get a moment in my new tiny home. But I now truly believe and understand that he had a hand in that. He had a hand in all of it. Departing when he did through our soul plan and agreements, and all of the things that fell into place for me to get out of the RV and into the new build and be at peace and in love with my new space, even though I don't have my best friend to enjoy it with. So I wanted to deepen on that discussion because I've been sharing about a little bit of it, and I'm coming out of the grief now, and I'm collaborating more again and doing interviews and getting outside and grounding and taking care of myself again more and more. And I just really feel so blessed about all of this. As I'm recording this, I'm sure you hear in the background some lovely children voices because the neighboring person on the acreage has their grandchildren over. And I will not edit this out. It is beautiful. Listen to the beauty of their little voices. I just have such a full cup right now. And I wanted to share this with you guys because that cup isn't full because of anything that I'm doing. It's full because I'm being. I'm just simply being in love with this moment just as it is. And the rest does itself. The desire tells you your milkshake has already been ordered. Eat your burger, sip on your water, and stop worrying about it, kiddos. It's coming. You deserve it. It deserves you. It's coming. Just be a silent witness. Clear all of your attachments to it, all of your longing for it, and all of your discussions about it. Let it flow. Let it go. Breathe and don't resist. Stay open, and the rest will be taken care of. I assure you. Much love. Until next time.